any arbitrary power, especially when it's applied corporately to groups, we should oppose it. In Tennessee, it's in our state constitution. The second article or whatever, Section 1, Article 1, or I got that backwards. No, Article 1, Section 2 is that the non-resistance, I think I can almost do it from memory, the non-resistance against arbitrary power is to be considered slavish, absurd, and against the good and happiness of mankind or something like that. So we should resist racism's arbitrary power. You don't know that guy. His skin color doesn't tell. It's arbitrary to dislike him or to exclude him or whatever. Whether he's white, whether he's black, whether he's, Hispanic, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with like sexism. You don't know what that woman's capable of for sure. Let her try. It doesn't mean you change the standards, right? And so this is the pattern that has been exploited, and this is where the double standards came from. It's you should give us access. And our sensibilities are like, hell yeah, we should give people access. Let them try. Let them in. Don't exclude people. Racism sucks. Homophobia sucks. The sexism sucks. Misogyny's awful. Let them in. But then what happens is they say, well, you're not accommodating us. You're not accommodating. So it's like firefighters. Like, well, we got to lower the standard, or military. We got to lower the standard so more women can pass the test. Well, now we've got a problem, right? And so after you make the accommodation, then you've changed the political structure. And it's one thing if that's just about people, but it's like almost all this stuff seems to forget that manipulators and sociopaths and psychopaths exist.
Exactly.
Because what they're going to do is they're going to come in and they're going to say, you have to change it for me. And you change it for them. And then they're going to say, you have to change it for me again. And then you change it for them again. And then, an inch or two at a time, you're a mile down the road and you're like, how did I get here?
Right.
But that's the thing. It's like I'm all in this restorative justice thing in the schools. Oh, let's sit around and have a talk circle and talk it out. Two kids get in a fight or whatever, or somebody's doing some antisocial something. Let's talk it out. They're the group and let's heal. All right, so it sounds a little hippie to me, but, fine. Let's look at it. Some percentage, I would guess it's probably 3 or 4, not very big, of the population, just to throw a guess out there because that's roughly where you start. What's the total number of psychopaths, borderline personality, and so on? It's about 3 or 4% of the population. They're going to be like, oh, I can get away with this. Oh, I'm not going to get in trouble if I bust some other kid's head at school. I just have to sit in a talk circle and say, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, whatever. And then it's all over and we've healed. Like they're going to game. There are people who will game a system. And it's like this kind of like empathy driven, airy fairy. If we just gave everybody money, there would be no crime. Nonsense is driving us off of a cliff. And it's causing these fights in our schools through terrible policies like restorative justice policies. A lot of it's in criminals. I remember all these articles back, a year or two ago. I don't know if they're still publishing them. It's like, if we just paid people not to commit crime, they wouldn't commit crime.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, have you ever done something edgy? It's fun. I'm not a criminal.
It's a part of their identity.
For real. Like, if you're in a gang, that's how you, validate yourself, too.
Wasn't there something, they were trying to do this recently? They were trying to give people money to not commit violent crimes? There was like an actual policy that was being proposed somewhere.
Like Maryland or something
somewhere
like that.
Nutty.
Yeah.
Like where you're like, what the fuck did you just say? And the root of it, it's like if you don't have, everyone wants a meritocracy. We all agree to that. We want a meritocracy. We want the best people and we want competition, which is what allows people to get better and it allows us to have the best products and the best thing and the best music and the best art. But what is this?
Money to not commit crimes, and that's what popped up.
This is it. The Dreamkeeper Foundation Fellowship will pay participants. I think this is it. A new program out of San Francisco aims to decrease gun violence by paying high-risk individuals at least $300 a month to stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
That just means don't get caught. That just means don't get caught. And also, how do you make your money? $300 is not going to cover if you're selling
in San
crack,
Francisco, especially. Yeah.
If you're selling meth, you're making a lot more than $300.
That's right.
Like, what are they going to do? That's ridiculous. But my point was where I was getting to is like everybody wants a meritocracy, but if you can keep it so there's no equality of opportunity, if you can keep it that way, you're never going to really get a meritocracy, and that would be a better way to control it.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, this is full tinfoil hat. Like the reason why all these social justice people are like so excited about pumping billions of dollars into Ukraine and billions of dollars into whatever's happening with Israel and Palestine, but zero talk about doing that to Baltimore, zero talk about doing that to Detroit. Like
Maui.
that's the only. Well, Maui is that's a different thing, but that is also another thing.
But
that
no,
they
I
should
feel
be
you
upset
because the
about.
crime.
The crime. But like, hey, there's got to be a way to fix this. There got to be some sort of a solution. But if you don't, if we never get, not in 10 or 20 years, never get to equality of opportunity, you're always going to have a certain amount of disenfranchised people. You have a portion of your population for sure that's going to be in trouble. They're going to have problems. Then you always got solutions. You got opportunities. You've got like this little moving game.
Yeah.
If everything is even, and then it's just competition. And then America thrives to be the greatest utopian idea of what we had hoped it would be. Well, then it's really difficult to control people because they recognize that freedom is one of the most important aspects of having this kind of amazing opportunity to do whatever the fuck you want.